Hello and welcome back. My name is Howard Butler. In the previous video, we installed and configured the Velocity Management Console. The next step is the license assignment. To make licensing Velocity on virtual machines easier, an item named Default Hypervisor is automatically created in the Velocity Management Console. The final step will be to create the deployment job to install Velocity and schedule the Velocity benchmark data collection. Let's get started with a license assignment. The default hypervisor is automatically created with a CORS socket count of 1. Assigning a license to the default hypervisor will use this count to reduce the licensing units available. Select the Assign to License option under the Actions drop-down list, select the available license, and then click OK to continue. If you're using a license model based on cores or sockets, and you intend to use the default hypervisor as your means of licensing your virtual machines, you should modify the count of cores and sockets to be equal to the total aggregate of all the hypervisors in your environment that will be hosting virtual machines with Velocity. To do this, navigate to the Manage Environment and Credentials screen using the drop-down menu at the top right of the Velocity Management Console labeled Administration. Use the drop-down menu to view hypervisors. Select the Actions menu of the default hypervisor and choose Modify Cores and Sockets and enter the appropriate number of cores and sockets. Then click OK to continue. Now we're ready to deploy Velocity to your systems. From the Velocity Dashboard main menu, select the Deploy Velocity from the menu actions items on the right. Like most actions in the Velocity Management Console, when you deploy Velocity, you will be creating a job that sets forth the actions defined. You start out by selecting the systems you wish to target. Then click on Save Selection to continue. Here you can change the name of the job and also create a group of the selected systems. Click Next to advance to the configuration policy. In the Configuration Policy screen, you may choose the configuration policy that will define how Velocity will work on your targeted systems. A default configuration policy is available and initially selected for your convenience. Click Next to advance to the Benchmark Data Collection settings. Use the controls in the Velocity Startup Settings section to determine what the startup behavior of Velocity will be after the deployment and first reboot have completed. You can choose to have Velocity immediately start the benchmark data collection after installation and reboot, or you can keep Velocity disabled. This second option allows you to determine the optimum time to initiate a benchmark data collection after deployment. The purpose of the benchmark data collection is to gather data that shows a comparison of your systems before Velocity has provided performance benefits and after Velocity has provided performance benefits. The optimum time to run a benchmark data collection is during normal work days, so that a benchmark of real performance can be established. Click Next to advance to the job schedule. Use the controls in this step of the Job Creation Wizard to choose to run the job now or schedule the job for a later date. Also notice that you can select the option to have the system automatically rebooted once the deployment job completes. Click Finish on this screen to save the deployment job. As a reminder, there is an option to acknowledge or change the communication port used by Velocity. Click OK to continue. If you selected the reboot option, there will also be a confirmation notice. Click OK to continue, and then click OK once more to acknowledge the job has been started. When you schedule a job to run either now or in the future, the job will appear in the job queue. There will be a status icon, and it will indicate when the task has been completed. As you can see, the setup and deployment of Velocity through its management console is a very quick, simple, and easy process. With just a few mouse clicks, you can deploy and manage Velocity across thousands of systems in your network. I'm Howard Butler, and thank you for watching.